You've probably met someone, that's why you clicked on this video, and felt an almost electric pull towards them, like your souls recognize each other instantly. There's chemistry, connection, even a sense of destiny. And sometimes it's beautiful, and sometimes it's not fate, it's a pattern. What you're feeling might not be the one, might not be your twin flame. It might be the spark of a karmic dynamic between an empath and a narcissist. In therapy terms, this can also look like a codependent pattern or an anxious avoidant attachment dance. And in spiritual terms, it's often called a karmic connection. So when the empath and the narcissist meet, the connection is magnetic, but it's not always healthy. The empath often feels instantly seen, chosen, and needed. The narcissist feels an immediate rush from the empath's openness, from their warmth and depth and attunement. They feel seen. Early on, it feels intoxicating, like two puzzle pieces locking in. But underneath, the empath is unconsciously scanning. What do you need from me? How can I heal you? How can I keep you happy? And the narcissist is unconsciously scanning, how can I secure this source of admiration and energy and care? What do I need to do to get more energy? This isn't always a conscious manipulation. In fact, most of the time it's not. Sometimes it's just two wounded nervous systems recognizing how they can kind of plug into each other. It's the empath over-functioning and the narcissist over-receiving and absorbing, and both thinking that it's love. One reason that this dynamic is so hard to spot is that it doesn't always look abusive. In fact, it looks magnetic, it looks passionate. The narcissist may be charming and generous and so loving, especially at the beginning. The empath may feel powerful in their giving, almost like they're a healer or a savior. They feel on cloud nine. But here's the tricky part. Sometimes in a different relational equation, each person might show a different side. The empath in one relationship could become controlling or avoidant in another. The narcissist in one dynamic might become more vulnerable or giving in another. And sometimes this is where it gets even trickier, okay? Both people in the same relationship can actually alternate between empath and narcissist patterns. That's often tied to a disorganized attachment style, where each person shifts between anxious pursuit and overgiving and avoidant control or extraction, depending on what the trigger is. That's because these patterns are relational alchemy. The way that two nervous systems interact can bring out entirely different roles. It's not about fixed identity. It's about what gets activated between two people. So both empaths and narcissists usually have deep attachment wounds going back into childhood. In therapy, this can look like anxious attachment, seeking closeness at all costs. You learn to scan the environment to see what you needed to do to be safe. And avoidant attachment, protecting the self by controlling the terms of connection or trying to find how you can extract. In spiritual language, it's often two souls bound by an agreement, unfinished lessons from the past, resurfacing, so they can finally be seen and healed. Sometimes we try to fight for others the battles we never fought for ourselves. We try to give them what we needed. The empath keeps pouring themselves out to save someone because they couldn't save their parent, their sibling, or younger self and feel loved. The narcissist keeps extracting or demanding loyalty and devotion because they never got it from the ones who mattered most, so they try to make sure they get it now. The result? It's a cycle that feels personal and it feels cosmic at the same time. So how does this hook you? Well, the empath feels a rush of purpose. The narcissist feels a rush of supply. Both feel like they've finally found the one who understands. The codependent pattern strengthens here. The empath becomes increasingly responsible for the narcissist's emotions. They keep becoming more in tune and feel responsible to respond. The narcissist becomes increasingly entitled to the empath's energy. So in attachment terms, the anxious partner keeps moving closer, hoping for security, while the avoidant partner keeps pulling away or controlling the pace, but not enough to let go because the supply feels too good. They're still trying to extract. So this push-pull is exhausting, but the chemistry keeps you hooked. So in spiritual circles, we call this a karmic dynamic. It's not necessarily punishment, it's curriculum. Karmic doesn't mean you're destined to suffer forever with this person. It doesn't mean you did something wrong. It just means that there's a pattern here that your soul came to master. When you pass the test, the hold breaks. But here's the key. The lesson is rarely about fixing the other person or even salvaging the relationship itself. It's about learning the one thing your nervous system and soul have both been avoiding: keeping your energy, your boundaries, and your self-worth intact, no matter who's in front of you. So, if you're in this dynamic right now, your first job is to get honest about which role you're playing, how your energy is playing out with other people, and what it's costing you. So for empaths in that pattern, the work is gathering and keeping your energy, keeping it home. That means learning to recognize when you've left yourself to attend to someone else. It means practicing saying no without apology, letting people be slightly uncomfortable or very uncomfortable without rushing in to fix it. It means building a life that's full enough that you're not waiting for someone to give you purpose. It means restoring your nervous system so you can feel safe in stillness, not just in doing or what you give to others. Learning to fill your own energy field, feel it, and seal the leaks where your life force is pouring out or where it's being extracted. When you do this, you stop offering your energy to people who haven't earned your trust, and your intuition stops being a liability and actually becomes a superpower. So for narcissists who are willing to do the work, which many are not, the curriculum is different, but just as challenging. Learning to give without attaching strings, without attaching expectations or the need for validation. Learning to receive feedback without retaliation or withdrawing. Practicing letting others be the center of attention without needing to reclaim the spotlight. It's not all about you, and you're okay with that. Understanding that giving is not a transaction. It's not bait for control or for supply later. Building a sense of worth that's independent of the admiration or control over others or what you have to extract from them. Yes, some narcissists already give, but it's often giving to get. Love bombing, grand gestures that come with hidden contracts, gifts that are meant to bind. The healing is actually learning to give in a way that truly releases without the hook. So I personally know this dynamic because I've lived it. I have been the overgiver, the over-attuned one, the one holding the relationship together with both my hands while my own life went unattended. And I've also seen the parts of me that could get controlling or avoidant when I felt unsafe, and I had to face that in myself. I'm Paige Vandersloot, also known as Solacin. I'm a therapist, an ASEC certified sex therapist, doctor of medical Qigong, an energy healer, and mystic. And I've spent over a decade in professional practice and nearly 20 years immersed in the study of relationships, trauma, and energy medicine. And what I know for sure from all of my experience is that you can break this pattern, but you can't do it by trying to win the other person over or even by attaching to the relationship first. You do it by winning yourself back. So, if this video landed with you, let it be a mirror, not for the other person, but for yourself. And if you want more content in healing attachment wounds and breaking trauma bonds and reclaiming your energy, please subscribe here. And in the comments, tell me, which part of this dynamic do you recognize in yourself? Because awareness is the first step, but action is the graduation. So I love you so much. Thank you for being here with me today.